Perk just went with John Morant. Changed his MVP pick. Originally said Anthony Davis. 1 game later, it's John Morant for Kendrick Perkins.
I like that pick.
Well, I mean, Memphis won and the Lakers lost.
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to my Luka ticket, though.
I don't think they're going to be good enough, Mike.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, I think, you're
the loss of Brunson, too much for them to overcome?
I just think they're going to be like
Has there been an MVP on a mediocre team?
Westbrook was the last one.
Okay.
But, like, he did something that everyone said would never thought would happen.
Wait, he had Anthony Davis as MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, everyone gets hit with bubble fraud, and I always brush up against it because it doesn't paint my team in a positive light. I'm happy of the Heat's accomplishments in there. But if you really peel back the numbers, that was like the last time Anthony Davis could make a shot.
A jumper.
Yeah, he can't make anything from mid-range. Certainly, like, he was a dependable three-point shooter in that finals. It is insane to me, the difference from that basketball player that was in that bubble shooting that well and who we have today.
Well, I mean, can you explain this part to me? Because Anthony Davis, physically, as they call him street clothes, and Shaq and Barkley laugh at him, we were all talking about him, young player that you want to build your team around, top 5, best player in the league on a crappy team, and this was going to be a fountain of youth for LeBron James. And he got caught in the middle of where the sport, the sport has gone to 7-footers who do what he does aren't the rarity anymore. They're all over the place. Anthony Davis being on the perimeter and being like Anthony Davis was a unicorn 5 years ago, and he's not anymore. And now he can't shoot. How does that happen? Is that similar to the Ben Simmons short circuiting?
No, I don't think so, because I think Anthony Davis was never a great shooter. Mike's right. This has been this 2-year stretch here, or I guess now starting on a 3-year stretch, has been the worst of his career. But
he was 18% from 3 last year.
Yeah, 19%, and the year before that, 26%. But then the bubble year, he shot 33. The year before that, 33-1. The year before that, 34. The year before that, 299. So he's never. It's not like Julius Randle, who shot 40% that 1 year and then has come back crashing down. This is a guy who's been an okay at best shooter. I mean, that's below average 3-point percentage.
Kirk Goldsberry tweeted out, Anthony Davis is the least efficient jump shooter in the NBA over the last 2+ seasons. Among 178 players that have attempted at least 500 jump shots since the beginning of the 2020-2021 season, Davis has logged the lowest effective field goal percentage on those shots at 35.99. No other player is below 40. So it's number one and a gulf in terms of bad jump shooters in the league.
Well, Amin just said 2 days ago, Anthony Davis and LeBron together, championship if you put the right pieces around them. But Mike is saying, hey, Anthony Davis, whatever you thought of him or remember him as being, that's not what he's been since they opened up that bubble and we resumed traveling again and playing normal basketball. His body doesn't work right, and it's stunning to say, but he's supposed to be the fountain of youth, and LeBron's the one that you trust a great deal more at damn near 40.
But I sometimes some of these things are overblown. So last year, he's 23-10 and shot 53% from the field.
I'll tell you who it's overblown with. Jimmy Butler, who is second on the list, who is basically Madison Bumgarner in the playoffs. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Every shot he takes ends up being a good shot because he's just a different dude there.
Right, and if you want to go further back, Dwayne Wade was like that. Terrible 3-point shooter, but then in the playoffs, they'll draw up plays for him to take the three.
When they count.
So it's not unprecedented. I think
they don't count during the regular season.
Stugotz was dying to get in there. He saw a very small window, but he could give a when it counts.
Laser
but I would have
definition
assumed,
of doing it in the playoffs.
No, you could point to that bubble performance of Anthony Davis and say, see, he's cut from the same cloth. These are special individuals. So do you think he can turn it around? He needs to be at least respectable from out there.
So in 21 games in the 2019-20 playoffs, Anthony Davis averaged 27.7 from points per game, 57% from the field, 38% from three. Like
I mean, it's like steroids years. I don't know. You can't explain it. But it was impossible. Like but again, in that finals, we just simply didn't have an answer.
But Mike, if you look at the rest of his playoff career, 27% from three. 18%. Like he's not.
Was it just bubble sightlines?
No, what do you mean?
We're
it's not
explainable. About a guy who's not a 3-point shooter.
No, but Jay Crowder in the bubble was great. Jamal Murray was good for 50 a night in the bubble. I knew Jamal Murray was going to put up 50 every night in the bubble.
See, but here's the thing.
It was great basketball being
played.
Jamal Murray had maybe the best postseason ever.
I love the basketball being there.
I called the Utah-Denver series in the first round the best basketball I'd ever seen anyone play.
We got caught up loving that series. Amin was making a good point. Sorry, Amin.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're asking why the bad 3-point shooter is a bad 3-point because he's not a good shooter. He's not. That's never been his strength. Now he's a guy that if you do all this stuff to take away this stuff, he can come out here and hit a couple. But in terms of a volume 3-point shooter, I've never looked at him like that. I've never thought of him in that way. Now, the shooting terribly everywhere over the floor, that's a different story. I'm looking at his numbers right now from the last couple of years in terms of those mid-range shots, right? 10 to 15 feet and 16 to 22. And we're talking about shooting in the 30s and low 40s. That's not good.
This isn't going to be the fountain of youth for LeBron James, it would appear. And we're talking about all the potential money that the Lakers have. Mike, do you bring him back?
But Mike, if he's averaging 25 points a game, dunking on everybody.
Yeah, no, he's still a very good player.
So it's just like a great player.
When you can count on him.
I mean, think about it.
But the greatest ability is availability.
Yeah, okay, so that's a different story. But like, I'll give you a great example. Zion can't shoot better than that. Zion's not a great shooter. Why do we value Zion so much more?
But Zion knows he's not a great shooter. It seems,
exactly.
Yeah.
So he stays in the paint. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like, okay, if AD kind of just accepts, man, for whatever reason, I'm not good at this anymore.
Oh, man, but this is where we talk about the self-awareness of athletes. He's right next to him is Westbrook to teach him all the lessons of how little these guys are willing to concede.
That's why I like LeBron's quote so much when he's like, we're getting a lot of open shots, and then he kind of finds out that's because they're giving us the open shots. They want us to take these shots.
That quote was so freaking funny, man, because he says, like, yeah, we don't have enough shooters. We're getting open shots. We're not making them. Maybe that's why we're getting open shots is because they're giving it to us. And then he says, and I love this line. I was repeating it over and over last night. It's not like we have any lasers over here. Just the idea that like calling shooters lasers and say we don't have any. Oh my God.
Well, when you're 3 for 10 from 3.
Oh man. Right. Lasers.
But he was the best of the bunch. I mean, best of a bad bunch.